All right, guys. Episode 19. We are here. I have a very, very special guest today. Let's go ahead and get into this. This is Clan Brandalorian, the podcast. Thank you for joining once again. Let's go ahead and run it.
Starship on the jet.
Scavolitano, how
There
are
you
you
go.
doing, bro?
I was enjoying the intro. I thought I was watching an Anuel concert. I was like ready to see Anuel. You look exactly like him. I was like, is that Anuel? I don't think that's Brandon. I said, that's Anuel.
Man, I've been called Shark Boy my whole life. Taylor Lautner, Team Jacob. I'm like,
Wow.
all right, whatever, man.
See, I compliment you with a good-looking person like Anuel. You know, this Spanish thing. You know, that gives you
Oh,
props.
Onwell AA. I see who you're talking
Yeah,
about. Yeah,
I I don't add the AA because it makes no sense. AA, like what does the AA stand for?
yeah.
AA batteries? I don't know.
He's charged up, baby. But
Yeah.
just like you, bro, you should be charged up today. Got you on the Clan Brandalorian podcast finally.
I know.
How's your week been, bro? How's your day?
It's good. It's been good. It's been good. I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me. Your episode, so people watching, I did in my episode with Brandon will be coming out very soon too. This Cavali's Tonight Show. With Brandon, we talk everything Star Wars on that. So stay tuned
Yes.
for that when he posts it on his page, and probably I don't know if you could post it on YouTube. You probably could, but
Yeah.
stay tuned for that. But my day's good. How are you doing?
Man, it's good. It's another good Sunday. I'm actually in the process of moving, so I'm kind of deteriorating some of the collection. That way it can be moved in a good fashion. So a lot of shrink wrap, bubble wrap, and boxes.
Oh wow.
So yeah. And I got a lot to move. So we're gonna take it week by week, slowly but surely.
I feel that.
But yeah, man, like what I told you when I DM'd you, I was like, hey man, let's just have a Clone Wars animated, anything animation in Star Wars. But then in the midst of everything, we get Tales of the Empire dropped on our heads. What's going on, man? This is insane. But let's save that for a later topic. Let's go ahead and start off with show and tell. That is something
I might have to
this
get
is
up for
something
this.
I love to do on my channel, kind of different. Every guest that comes on, it's like we're in elementary school once again. It's time for show and tell. Anything Star Wars, anything in your collection, even if you're not a big collector, you can bring anything to the table. You can show off a t-shirt, tattoo, anything, or just a favorite Star Wars memory. But if you would like to go ahead, you can show off what you want.
You totally told me this way before the show, but my brain did not process anything. But I have my favorite. Can I get up and get it? I don't know if.
Oh, of course, bro.
Oh, okay.
I can cut it out too.
Oh, okay. So I have the Darth Vader. That is my favorite one. I think I have all the animation busts from the Clone Wars, like Ahsoka, Anakin, the Gentle Giant ones, the small ones. But I recently got the Darth Vader 3D Dimensions one that is half Anakin and half Vader,
bro.
from Obi-Wan, which is fire. So I'm going to show you that one, and then I have the Thrawn on his throne in his throne room. He's just sitting there menacingly, just looking at me.
Is his leg crossed on that one?
Yes.
Is that the one?
Yes.
Bro, tough.
And I think those two, and I have the Captain Rex one that I just got, the Premier Collection one from Gentle Giant too. I love the Gentle Giant. I got to quick shout them out because they do amazing work over there. I don't collect all the animation busts because then I wouldn't have room and bed space probably. But only my favorite characters. Like I have all the Rebels ones. I have not all the Clone Wars ones, but I got Padme, Ahsoka, Anakin, Obi-Wan. And they just came out with a Hondo and Naka one, which I love Hondo. So I have the Mace Windu. I have these two, Hera and Chopper.
Nice, bro.
I love them. But let me go get my.
It's so tough, dude. And I have never seen it in person. I've only seen it online, but this is the most up close that I've seen it in a human hand. Yeah, bro, that's just
human hand
insane.
It's amazing. Like when I got this, and then they have a Clone Wars coming one out. That's it's a milestone statue. It's with Vader, the scene that you see in the end of the Clone Wars where Vader picks up the lightsaber and everything.
Oh, nice.
They're having that's like only out of 1,000 made. That's like a lot of money, but I pre-ordered it because I want that one too.
Damn.
Where's the Vader one?
Nah, that's such an iconic scene, bro. And I'm
And
so
then
glad we're
and then
getting
this
the
one.
animated Vader again.
Then this one's like they have like you could
Yeah.
see like they put like detail on it, like the head. The head. Like you could see like they really like killed it with that.
Damn.
Like they really did good with the this one. I really was proud of this one to get this one. And then I don't think I have room to put this here.
I think I saw your TikTok or your Instagram reel on that Vader one.
The Vader one, yeah. And then
Yeah.
I had the Captain Rex coming one out. Ugh. But these three are like my favorite, not my favorite ones, but like they're the ones that I keep precious to my soul.
Dude, that's so. Dude, is he standing on Ahsoka's lightsaber?
No.
Oh my god.
I think so. I don't know.
No, it's not. I thought that
No.
was Ahsoka's hilt. I was gonna be like, what the hell?
And they shooting at her too, Order 66 and
Bro.
All right, let me put these back real quick. And then I have one more.
Cool, man.
Because this is so awesome. I'm show and tell. I didn't do this in school.
That's what we do on Clan Brandalorian, guys. If you're watching, if you've been a guest already, or if you're gonna be a future guest, it's show and tell time. We like to show off our collections. We pay a lot of money for these things. We got to show them off.
Like I got this one recently, the Rebels one, the Rebels bust.
Ooh, with the right side. Yep.
And then Vader, which I really love. I like the animation bust. And then this one's like my prized possession, where no one ever will have this probably. It's only 5 made in this world, and I have number 2. It's signed by James Arnold Taylor from Obi-Wan, Matt, and Ashley. This one right here.
Oh man! And
with
you
the
got
gold.
that. You got that in person.
No, I actually bought it online. Yeah, they were selling these, and it said I don't know if you guys can see that, but it says like 2. I don't know. It's so golden, but it says 2/5. So I have number 2. So there's 5 made in this world, but I have one. So whoever else has one watching, or it's on eBay or something like that. But yeah, I had to go halves with a friend of mine. He split it with me, but this is like my precious item. It was a lot of money, but it was a precious item.
Did you guys do you get it for like 2 weeks out of the month, and then your friend gets it for the other 2? And then you guys just go back and forth?
Hell no. That guy owes me his life. That's what I'm saying. But no, he split it with me, and we split it. Because it was in the UK. Those were only released. Yeah, so I feel like things are only sometimes like out of 5, out of 4, out of 10, or only released in the UK, because I don't know how people get them. Like they sign them, and I don't know where they ship them off to, but it's so hard to get it because it's like we want them too. Like so how does someone else get it? And then we don't know about it though. Like I didn't know about that until I think Ashley was signing them. She was signing some things on Instagram, and she posted it on her Instagram story, and I was like, wow, I want that. So I just checked eBay, and eBay in the UK, like just say it's for $600 in UK dollars, it's $800 in United States dollars.
Oh, so, wow.
Okay. Yeah, so it's a different price match. So you have to look out for that too. I think it was 600 mine and like 400 theirs. I forget, but it was like a couple of years ago. But that's like one of my prized possessions that I could never, ever. I want more of them. There's one with Captain Rex on it, and all 4 of them have signed it. So I need that one. I want that one too.
You got to add D to the collection.
Yeah, those are my like 3 favorite 4. I could say Obi-Wan's like Clone Wars. Obi-Wan is like my favorite too, but I like the Ahsoka, Anakin, and Rex. Rex is my favorite clone.
Yeah, see, I think he comes in maybe 2nd, maybe 3rd. That's 3rd would be a stretch, but Cody is definitely my guy.
I know I'm starting to like Cody a lot. Like Cody, I really want to see his story play out in Bad Batch, but we only got like 1 episode, and then he went AWOL. You know, so like what happened to him there? I don't know if he'll come back in these last couple episodes of Bad Batch, which I'm hoping, but you never know in Star Wars. Stay tuned for the surprises.
I know. What I'm hoping is like maybe because I think the Calvary is here is the title of the last episode.
Yes.
Something along those lines. I'm hoping, of course, everyone bear with me. I'm hoping Quinlan Voss shows up with Cody.
I was actually I was thinking that this last episode, episode 11, where we saw Omega go again,
Mm,
and I think I posted on my story. I don't know if I posted on my story or Twitter, that I said like that's such a Jedi heroic to do. Like that's such a Jedi thing to do. Is okay. Let's save the people because they're gonna hurt these people if I don't come out right now. You know,
right.
and I think the clones are like, yeah, we're gonna get out of here, and there's no way they're gonna get out of here. They
No,
were all gonna die.
it's
You know,
curtains. It's curtains
yeah.
for them.
So I like when she did that, and I was thinking, I was like, okay, well, Crosshair missed a shot. You know, we knew he was gonna. I knew, kind of figured he was gonna miss it because the bullet went like this. He shot it, and the bullet went like this.
It was
So I
like a
was like,
dud.
it was like a dud shot, and I was like, wow, did he even try? Did he did he even shoot that? And I think it's his hand too. But I was
Yeah,
like, okay, Azad's Ventress makes a lot of sense because to me, you're not going to go into Tantus. All those people, and we don't know how many clones, and then we have four sensitive children that we saw in episode 10 of what they're experimenting on, you know, but they're not fully trained Jedi like Ahsoka was or something. They don't know what they have. And
right.
Omega's going to be in that, and Omega's going to meet those children and probably be friends with them and stuff like that. But I feel like going into Tantus, you need that heavy artillery. You know, you can't just go in with Rex, Echo, and the Bad Batch. You'll probably die. Like it's a
Hmm.
death sentence right there. So I was thinking maybe Azad's Ventress comes out and helps them, and she takes Omega at the end of the season, and then that's the next show. Like we talked about on my show, we talk about the Pat show or
Hmm.
a Rex show, and we see him rescuing his brothers and stuff. A Rex standalone show that we're gonna get, and then we lead into Rebels because we see Wolf in
Yeah.
one episode, but Wolf is not really like he's in charge over there. He's a commander, you know, but he has his 2 cents. You know, he knows what's right and wrong. I feel like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think that's what's. I think Azaj Ventress will come back. I don't know if she will. I'm just speculating, but it would make sense if she did come back in a heroic way to save the Bad Batch's ass because there's no way if they're going to Tantus, I'm sorry to say it, there's someone's gonna die, you know.
Hmm.
And it's sad to say that because I love the Bad Batch. I love Crosshair's arc in this whole season, but it has to make sense when you put it on screen. You know, like 5 Bad Batchers, they're not Jedi. You know, they can't
Yeah.
sneak on Tantus, all those guards, and not no one. Everybody's gonna make it out normal. No, you're not gonna have that. You're gonna have someone
Yeah.
sacrifice themselves, maybe blow it up, but we don't know what happens to Tantus because we really don't hear about it in other shows and stuff like that. So we really
No.
don't hear about it. So we'll see. But I'm excited.
Yeah. I'm excited too, bro. I mean, I mean, we're definitely gonna get more into that too. With the next coming weeks, it's all gonna be over, said and done. So we're gonna have to, yeah, we're gonna have to see something. But to wrap up the show and tell part, I'm gonna go ahead and show this banger right here. And it is a Funko Pop, but when a lot of people talk Grails, you think of the Celebration or Captain Rex. Like Tony and Ricky have showed me their holographic Obi-Wan Kenobi thing goes for like up to like stimulus check money. It's insane.
it
Like those
is.
are holy grails. But to me, in my collection, I pick up any pop that I like of any character. There's a lot of characters in Star Wars that I love. There's very few that I don't like. So this was one I was looking for a long time, and I actually got to Denver Fan Expo, and that was when I met Hayden Christensen. It was just a beautiful day. So then I walk upstairs, and I finally find this Funko that I couldn't find in my hometown, and it is the 2021 Fall Convention Boba Fett
Oh, okay.
in the Tuscan armor. That's what I really, really wanted, without the helmet and everything. No armor, nothing.
Just him being
Just
bald.
and it's just like, dude, sick. Love it. But
It's
yeah,
really
bro.
good. I've had that
This
one before. I had that one before, but I had to get rid of it.
yeah, maybe this was yours, bro. Maybe.
Maybe. Maybe Brandon stole it from me. You never know. Came to my house all the way from Kansas, from New
Dude.
Jersey, you know?
What's actually crazy is um this I've seen in person once actually in I think maybe Kansas City, but then I didn't pick it up because I think a guy was selling it for like 35, like at his like local shop, and I was like, I
Oh,
mean, it's boba. I love boba. It's worth it, but I'll wait. And then I actually got it at the convention for 20. So
okay.
win-win,
Yeah, a
Sometimes you
lot of
just gotta
girls.
wait it out.
Yeah, even sometimes with like I want like the Ahsoka one, the whole X one exclusive.
Mm,
That's all golden because that's the only
mm.
Ahsoka pop I don't have yet. That's the only one. So it was like 1,500. I'm waiting till it gets so low. Like people, you're gonna have to start lowering the prices eventually. Like you're not
Oh
just gonna
yeah.
sit there and wait.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for that, and then I'm waiting on the Thrawn one, the Star Wars Celebration one. That
2017.
was, yeah, the sticker though, because I have one signed by Timothy Zahn, the creator of Thrawn,
Dope.
and I want that one signed by Thrawn, which I just placed an order with Star Wars Autographs to get a Funko Pop signed, the one that just came out with the gun and from
Mm.
Ahsoka that I
Yeah.
got signed because I love Thrawn, so it just amazes me. So
Hell yeah, bro.
I
I
cry sometimes, Brendan. I cry.
Hey man, there's a few times in Star Wars where I'm like, God damn, dude, one's about to fall, man. One's
Yeah,
about to fall.
and that's how I look at food too. I cry. Like I just want to cry. Like it's so beautiful. I might cry
Oh
right
man.
now. You never know.
Yeah, you never know, bro. And it's okay to cry. It's
It
okay.
is. It's okay.
But I did tell you I wanted to start a new segment actually on the podcast. And this
Okay.
is what I'm gonna call the best of the best. So I'm gonna hit you with some hot questions real quick. Answer
Okay.
them either as fast as you can. You can take 30 minutes to answer one. But if you want to keep it short and sweet, that's perfect. Basically, I want everyone to think off the top of their head the first thing when you hear the best blank, what's the
Oh,
first thing
okay.
on your mind? So here we
Okay.
go. Best lightsaber.
Ahsoka's.
Okay. Nice. Best Jedi.
Ahsoka.
Okay, check this out. You can't say Ahsoka here. Best
Ah.
Sith.
Sith. Uh I like Azaz, but Azaz is not a Sith, is she? Can we say she's
She was once upon a time
a
serving the Sith,
Sith?
so
Yeah, I like this. I love Azaz Ventress. She's one of my favorites too. So I'll say
yeah,
her.
yeah. She's a banger, bro. All right, here we go. Best planet.
Coruscant.
Yes, I agree with you there. And to cap it off, best ship.
Shit. I really like Cal Kestis' ship. I forgot the name of that.
The Mantis.
The Mantis. I like the Mantis because you get to explore it and see how cool it is. I like that. I actually like that ship, the Mantis.
It's a lot.
I
Yeah,
actually and the Ghost ship too. I like the Ghost ship too, but I like the
yeah,
Mantis. I like both of them, but I said Mantis because it was like it's unoriginal. No one would think of that one.
yeah. I'm hoping. I really want a Lego of the Mantis.
Probably. I feel like with Cal Kestis, because we know he's going to get his own show or eventually be in the Tales of the Jedi or some other show.
Yeah.
I think we'll get. I think we'll definitely get that soon. Like the Mantis one, that's going to be a big build. Though. That's going to be like
Oh yeah.
pretty big. But
Here's my thing. If you can make Cad Bane's Justifier from the Bad Batch, no one bought that, dude. Like 170 retail US, like come on, bro. That ship was in the show for 20 seconds. And then I mean, we got to see it again just last week's episode in the Bad Batch. But you see it for 2 seconds, So it's just like,
it's not worth
yeah,
it. It's not
it's
worth
not.
it.
And it did drop to I think the lowest it dropped was 90 and
Oh
those were at
wow,
Walmart's. But still, even at that, it's just like,
who wants it?
yeah, I mean, you get Fennec, Hunter, Toto, Cad Bane, and Omega, but I got the 2023 Christmas Advent calendar, and the very first day it's Omega. So now I have the entire Bad Batch, and I didn't have to
Oh
spend $170.
yeah, you got the calendar.
It's just like that. Okay, so that was a good run for the best of the best segment. That is the first ever. Scavoli was the first to ever complete the best of the
And I
best.
said Ahsoka for two of them.
And his favorite ship was Ahsoka, it's really cool.
Yeah. I couldn't say anything Ahsoka. I just had to go with things I really don't know.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't say the T6.
No, I really like the Mantis a lot because you get to
Oh,
explore
yeah.
it too. And then of course the Ghost ship too that I love. But I think the Mantis was like because you're in it, you're playing as in it, like so it felt like real to me. So that's why I think I picked that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a Lego of that. Like I said, it's
Yeah,
gonna be tight. But man, the entire reason you're on today, bro. Let's kick it off with animation. Let's talk some Clone Wars. Um,
yeah.
if you can, bro, just to start it off, what's your favorite arc in the Clone Wars?
And the Clone Wars. Oh, I'm biased, but my favorite scene like is the Siege of Mandalore arc. But my like that could be my favorite, but I really liked the Clone arc with Fives. And I feel like
Bro.
that's like a pivotal moment. Like to me, like Star Wars, I like important scenes. Like I just can't like yeah, you have your favorite scenes where you jump off the cliff or something like that. That's a great scene. But like with me, like it has to make sense to the story of Star Wars. Like it has to like even like when you make a what if series like I have on my show, like you have to make sense of it. It has to connect. You know, because
Yes.
if it doesn't connect, then people are like, well, that didn't connect. Like that doesn't make any sense. Why would he do that? You have to make the story of why would he do that, why this, why that, and stuff like that. But I think the arc with Fives, because we didn't get that in anything. We didn't know that they had chips in their head. Like, oh, they had chips in their head. Like, what does that mean? You know, what are the chips? You know, are you
Hmm.
eating potato chips? Like, I don't know if they're eating potato chips.
What kind of
But
chip?
yeah, what kind of chip? So, and we get that and we get that in the Clone Wars, and it's and Fives when he took his chip out, he was not normal, but he was not focused enough. So
Yeah.
if I feel like if he was a little more focused and not like all over the place like he was, I think the Jedi would have found that out. And I hate how like it gets me aggravated that the Jedi sat there and was like, okay, we detained the clones. Okay, we're not going to look into more deeper. Shakti, thank you for coming to Camino and go back there, please. Thank you. May the force be with us always. Bye. And that was it. Like, really? Like, wouldn't you investigate the chip? And I feel like, and I'm biased with this. I don't know if you could agree with me or anybody out there could agree with me. If Fives went to Ahsoka in that point, I really feel like as we see going, I really feel like Ahsoka would have helped Fives or would have maybe investigated it more, you know, into it because I feel like she's the Jedi that was reasonable that you could go to. Like even
Right.
with Anakin, I'm very surprised Anakin didn't really investigate it more, like with the Palpatine and everything like that. Like it's so fascinating to see that. Like everybody's like, oh, he was detained, he died, and we get over it, you know. Um, that's one of my favorite Clone Wars arcs. And I think also I really like the Mortis arc too. Like that's an
Bro.
important arc.
That threw
That's
me
really
for a loop at first. When I first seen it, I hated it. I'm like, bro, no. There's no mystical, godlike beings that are just sitting on this diamond crescent planet
this
that
beautiful
has
food.
yeah, and it's like, nah, dude. What I remember because I told you, like, I hadn't really told anyone that I watched the Clone Wars late. But yeah, like after The Force Awakens came out, I was like, let me see what this Clone Wars stuff's talking about because I remember seeing it, like on Cartoon Network when I was, a lot younger, and I just always kind of brushed by it. But some of the homies were like, "Bro, you got to check this out. Like it's fire, so much backstory." I'm like, "Stop it." I was like, if Hayden's not the voice, if Ewan's not the voice, I don't want it. So all these years later, like around the time like Mando kind of was getting circulated like as a rumor that it was going to be a thing, I'm like, all right, let me check out this Clone Wars thing. Let me get back into Star Wars once again. And I'm like, dude,
Really
after
good.
seeing like Rise of Skywalker, even, and a lot of people, are just making memes about, oh, somehow Palpatine returned. And I'm like, okay, a lot of people want extra backstory. Like people think that, Dave Filoni is trying to fix the mistake, quote unquote, of the sequels, which I stand by all the movies. Some are better than others 100%, but
Mhm.
I'm not going to bash them because I couldn't write a better story, I don't think. Because I'm sitting right here in this room talking to you. We're having a grand time, but I think this is where I should be instead of writing a Star Wars film. So
Yeah.
that's all for them. I enjoy the films, but that's just my stance on that. That way, nothing is blown out of proportion for anyone listening. But I don't think Dave is responsible for telling anything. I think it's already been told. look at all the times in the Clone Wars we see Palpatine a fucking snake, bro.
Yeah.
Fives, for instance, that's what's making me think of this. The moment Fives looked at him and kind of ratted him out, was about to, Palpatine's just smirking at him, like smiling at him behind everyone's back. And it's like, oh my God, this dude is devious,
Yeah.
a devious bastard. Like he was about to, expose Palpatine and the main goal of what's going on with the clones.
Because I really feel like that, like some of the clones know who this guy is. Once their chip
Yeah,
is out of their head or execute Order 66, they know Palpatine is their like god. They know that. So I feel like when Fives took the chip out, he knew exactly who you were.
right.
He knew kind of who Palpatine was, but not really. And then when Palpatine eventually told him, but in that scene, we don't get that scene. We
Dude.
get outside, and I wish we got what Palpatine said to Fives. And maybe in one of these other stories, the Tales of the Jedi or whatever they have next, that is brought up, or maybe we zoom back to that flashback, because that would be so amazing of how that scene would have played out.
Oh, 100%.
And what about the other guards that were there? They didn't hear anything. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So like, you didn't hear Palpatine go, "Yeah, I'm Darth Sidious, and you're gonna kill all the Jedi, and we're gonna play nice with you right now, but we're gonna kill you," like stuff like that. Like none of the guards heard that. Like none of
Yeah.
like, and that's what I mean too. Like as a Jedi, they're not property, they're people, just like what Plo Koon said in that couple first episodes. Like, I see you as people. Like, you're not disposal to me as other Jedi would be, or anything else. And like right there with Shakti, I would have stayed with Fives. No, Chancellor, I'm staying here for this conversation. You don't run this whole thing, and that's where the politics come in. And
Exactly.
that's why Jedi were not Jedi in that era, the prequel era. They weren't Jedi. They were peacekeepers and fighting a battle that they could never win, you know? And I think that's the most important. Like, it gets me a little mad that, like, how do people not see it? Because you're
Right.
watching it and you're seeing it. And the Jedi are supposed to be these smart people. Like, you're the dumbest people ever, you know? Like, and that's why like Qui-Gon Jinn was that Jedi where he didn't follow. He wasn't at the temple. He probably would walk around deserts, planets, and explore. And when they called him, okay, what planet are we on? You know,
Right.
and then we go there. And I think that's Qui-Gon dies. You lose hope after that. And I feel like it's Star Wars. I feel like it's like Game of Thrones. When Daenerys died, everybody had a bonfire afterwards. Like they got to the next scene, everybody's like, "Yeah, well, Dragon's out there somewhere. We're just having a grand. You want some more coffee?" And I'm
Yeah,
like, "How do you just do that? How do you just shank Daenerys in the belly? She dies. Dragon takes her body and leave." And cut to the
man.
next scene where everything is like, "Hi, everybody. Hi, we're great today." Like that's what Star Wars really did. Like we didn't get that backstory of like what happened with Fives. How did the clones deal with it? What happened with Palpatine, and even with the next arc that I like too, the Mortis arc. Like that arc was great. I loved it. But then we go to Yoda's arc in season 6.
Dude, that was trippy. And yeah, to kind of end the Mortis arc, yeah, once I watched it and understood it a few times, it took me a few times to watch it and be like, okay, I get this. I understand now. Because at first I was like, hell no, get this off of my TV, bro. I don't like this whatsoever. This is stupid. And at the time I felt like it pushed everything like what I've learned from the prequels and the original trilogy. Like as I'm thinking in my head, like, I'm 8 again. I've seen all 6 films, but then I watch this, I'm like, that takes away from everything, but it doesn't. When you really watch it and you really understand and see Anakin, what his position, why he was created, you're like, "Oh, damn, dude. They executed this perfectly." So that's how I look at a lot of the things, and even to end the Palpatine thing, I'm an advocate of saying that Palpatine is playing chess while others are playing checkers, because that's all he ever did, bro. Like he is, we want to talk Vader, we want to talk, Anakin on Mustafar, we want to talk Obi-Wan. Like Obi-Wan's my goat, but at the same time, it's like, bro, Palpatine, he's the strongest dude. He's literally right now. We see him in the process of making clones for himself, making temples to put his essence inside of, to recreate again, to be immortal efficiently, to be the dark side. He is the true dark side. We see Maul embrace the dark side. That's not even half of what Palpatine can do with it. We see Dooku, Tyrannus do that. Vader, Palpatine is that motherfucker, bro. Like he is not playing around, but
And even with even with the
it doesn't
cloning
need
and everything,
salvaged. It's all here. Clone
yeah,
Wars shows everything you need to know about Palpatine, and it makes sense why he comes back later. It all makes sense, bro. It
yeah,
all
and
makes
then it's like so weird because like after the Clone Wars, everything got built, everything was done, So where we're all he kept such secrets and hiding things, and I was like, how did the Jedi not sniff this out? Like
it's
it's
so
right
stupid.
there. Like how are we going from Order 66? Okay, some Jedi did die, and a lot of Jedi died, and stuff like that. But before all that, Palpatine had these plans going on for years. It was right under their noses, like the cloning process. Of course, more clones were going to be made, and him, you know, and him with the cloning and everything. We knew that was going to be a thing after the Zillo Beast. We knew something
That
with the
was cool
Zillo
too.
Beast was going to be cloned, and then we see it in Bad Batch, and we see that, and it's like, why didn't no one check this out? Like, what are we doing here, people? Like, what are you people Jedi doing? Are you just guys having coffee and stuff like that? Like,
Was
what
that
are
the
you people
thing when
doing?
Mace Windu, he was like, "Is this? Do we need this beast here? Is that who was saying that to
I
Palpatine?"
think he did. I said, do we like? No, I think Mace really cares for the Beast.
Oh,
I
okay.
really think. Yeah, I think he was
Who
the
was
one
the
that cared.
Jedi that was like, "What? Like, do we need this on Coruscant? Like, is this necessary?" And
I think it
Palpatine
was.
was like, "Yes, very much so. It's necessary."
Yeah, I think. Yeah, but it got shipped away though. The Zillo Beast. It didn't.
Right.
It didn't stay on Coruscant, but it probably got shipped to one of Palpatine's. He must have. I really would love to see like his underground like railroad. Like what was really there? How did you keep all this like under wraps? Like secretly. Like what did you have done already? Because the Death Star was being built after the Clone Wars, but it was being built already. So how didn't we see that?
Oh, the
We see
the puck, the hologram puck of the plans in Attack of the Clones. Even we're
yeah,
like it's already been. That's man. Like the more and more you talk about it, Palpatine, bro. It's he's the
get you mad.
orchestrator of all of this. And it's like, what? How do you all, like you said? How do you guys not see this? It's right there. The
It's right
Sith
there.
artifacts, all in his office in Revenge of the Sith. Like it took me years to be like, oh, that's what that is. But you're telling me you're a Jedi and you walk in there and you don't just see none of this. Like, what the hell is that thing? It looks
Or you don't
weird.
even see like Masameda being a dick. Like you don't see that. Like he's protecting Palpatine because that was his like right hand man. He knew everything. And
Yeah.
didn't the clones know anything? Like Commander Fox, like his leader of that. Like didn't you know? Like stuff like that. Like didn't the clones know something was up? Like Palpatine would disappear for hours or days.
Yeah.
Where is he? Like where did he go? Oh no, he's on a jet. He's on a Senate mission. No, he ain't. He's doing something else.
Man.
But I don't get Palpatine. Like I can't like he might be the person that I don't like in Star Wars, but he's the person that you really have to respect. Like
You
you
have
have to
to.
respect the Palps. Like and I respect him. Like I would meet Ian McDermott to shake his hand and go, "You motherfucker! Like you're so good. Like I
Yeah.
really like your work. Like you're a
Hmm.
menace to society, but I love what you did with that character. Like really great, really great."
Yeah. I feel like with a lot of these characters like that, you gotta give them respect, man. They're in a story that is so told beautifully. The entire reason you and I are talking right now is because of this
Yeah.
franchise. Um, and even if you want to get funny and think of like the mod gang from Book of Boba Fett, like shout out to them, dude. Like they did their job, and maybe that was the whole point, is to make them kind of cringy and goofy and awkward. Like cool. Shout out to them too. Like shout out to Ian
I
McDermott.
didn't get
You
that.
know,
I didn't get that. But the Power Rangers or whatever you want to call them, I didn't get
anything.
that. But they did their scene. They got paid and they went home.
Yeah,
That's
and
all. I can't hate them because they're making more money than we are altogether. But I didn't get that. Like it has to make sense. Like I said to you in the Clone Wars, like it had like even writing scripts, like I said the What If series, like it has to make sense. Those mod or whatever, like Power Rangers we can call them because everybody's calling them Power Rangers, didn't make sense to me. But maybe they will be told in the Skeleton Crew. Maybe we'll see them in Skeleton Crew. Maybe this is their like helping to Skeleton Crew. But I'm not sure what they really did with them. So that's all I'm gonna say because I don't know if
Yeah,
I'll
I've heard rumors of them being in something like another Mandoverse project. So I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But
yeah, they were cool. They're not my favorites. Like they didn't really.
yeah,
I like how they gave Fennec Shan like that. I like that. That's cool because that means people maybe more can come back. You know, if we stick a metal pipe through their organs or something like that, they'll come back. You know, but that was the only cool part. But I really wasn't a fan of them. But
yeah. So man, you, I mean, the name Tano is in your name. What what was the first how did you feel the first time you saw Ahsoka Tano, not knowing her character, not knowing what she was about? What if you can remember back to the first time you saw Ahsoka Tano, what were your thoughts?
a snotty teenage girl. Like that's what came to my mind. And like I did my research before, like I looked up not videos, but like what was she about? Like who is she? Because like I said, I watched the Clone Wars around what time you watched it, like the Mando Grogu. Because you can watch it on Nickel. Like to me, like Cartoon Network, you really can't watch it unless you understand the story. And you're not going
Mhm.
to understand the story if you're just watching bits and pieces of the episodes. Like you could never know what time they were on, stuff like that. So I never really watched it. Um, but my first, like when the Clone Wars starts, like the movie, like I was like, oh, what's the Clone Wars? Because you never know. Like when in A New Hope 2 with Obi-Wan says, you were my, like I worked with your father in the Clone Wars. And I'm like, well, that never really prospered my mind. Like I never really thought it like that. But watching the Clone Wars and introducing to Ahsoka, it's not a teenager, a girl teenager that is just coming into her own, 13, 14, you know, and I fell in love with her. Like I really did. I fell in love with her character because you see her sometimes fail, and it's okay to fail. You
Yeah.
know, we fail all day in our lives. Like we fail at things, but she didn't. She never. And then she used to get mad about it. Like, oh, I should have did that. Master. Like I should have done that. And Anakin's like, it's okay, Snips. Like, calm down. Like, you'll get him next time. And her arc with Anakin and that brother and sister relationship is just amazing. It's just how he protected her and how she was her sister, like it's a sister and brother kind of thing,
Yeah.
and how Ahsoka would get into her own and see like the Jedi as a whole, really. With Ahsoka, it's like when the wrong Jedi got premiered, she left the Order because no one believed in her, but only Anakin did, but she's not gonna stay because Anakin believed in her. She thought it was home for her. She thought her friends had her back. And they didn't. The Jedi never did. The Jedi were like, Obi-Wan. I think the only really one out of Anakin was Obi-Wan because Obi-Wan
Yeah.
would defend her. Even Plo Koon, I could say, I could say he defended her a little, but Mace Windu was such a dick. And I was like, bro, like you just deserve to get flung out a window after this point. And not
Yep.
knowing his story too, because now I read his book, Shatterpoint, and he has another book coming out, which I'm excited for.
Oh
And
yeah,
you can
yeah.
understand his story and the comics too. Like I understand why he's like the way he is. I get it now. But then her leaving and then her coming back with the Martez sisters and seeing that arc. People say, "Oh, that arc should have never been in there," but that arc should have been in there because you see Ahsoka realizing what the Jedi really are. They're not these peacekeepers that they supposedly are. They're not for the people. And I feel like when Order 66 is executed and all the Jedi are gone, people are happy. We see in the comics, you see all the Jedi lightsabers getting burned and in the Senate, by the Senate building or by the Jedi temple, like
It's
people are
crazy.
so happy, it's crazy, but people are so happy that they're gone. And it's crazy because like the Jedi helped these people, but were they actually helping these people?
Yeah.
We see the Martez sisters telling us about their parents, how they died, and I think it's Illuminar Unduli that said like, oh, trust in the Force. You know, I think she was the Jedi that said something to them, and Martez's sister's like, trust in the Force. Like you just killed
The
my
fuck is
parents.
that?
Yeah, you know, trust the process. Like what? And I think if Qui Gon Jinn was alive, I think Qui Gon Jinn would really bond with Ahsoka because they're one and the same. I think even with Keenan Jarrus too, of what Jedi should be. You know, I think Ahsoka is that Jedi that what she should be. You know, what that's a Jedi. What that's the definition right there. But like, yes, that's my first impression of Ahsoka. But I never hated her. I can say honestly that I never really hated her. Like other people did, like bashed her and everything when she first came out because she was this teenager. Well, Anakin doesn't need a Padawan. Oh, that doesn't make sense. We don't see her in the movie. And then it really makes sense with the Tales of the Jedi too, of how she survived Order 66.
It's so
Because
tight.
like Anakin training her. You know, if Anakin never trained her to be like that, I think she would have died in Order 66. And we see that in the Tales of the Jedi, and she's live or die. You know, we see that, and she lives. You know, and then she grows
Right.
up in Rebels. You know, she joins the rebellion with Bail Organa because you know it's time to get back into the fight. You know, it is time to fight. But she's a very inspirational character to me, and I love what Ashley did with that character. I really do.
Yeah, bro. Those are the first stepping stones with Ahsoka, with Ashley's performance. Insane,
Yeah,
bro. Like I used to think, like I used to be a huge Samurai Jack fan. So like I'm really loving like animation and like voice acting.
yeah.
And that was the last time because I used to watch Dragon Ball too, but I tried rewatching it. I couldn't. I'm sorry, DBZ fans. I used to be one too, but I just couldn't get back into it. I think it's because I'm just so swayed into Star Wars that I'm just like I don't want to like something else because then you start buying the collectibles and you're like, well, shit. But
Down the
I do.
hole again.
Yep, shit. But yeah, man, I love the Clone Wars. I love Ahsoka as well, and I was one of those people you were talking about at first. I'm like, "What the fuck, man? No way Anakin has a Padawan that's just thrown at him, and it's okay in this time." But once, I'm a huge Episode 3 fan, so I'm like, "There's no Padawan. He would have been a master." And then she was never brought up. But dude, let it sit, man. Let things marinate. It's just like when people were like, "Oh, I didn't like the new Schoolboy Q album because it just wasn't good at first." And it's like, bro, I promise you, if you listen to it five
Yeah.
times, give it a month, you're gonna really love track 2 through 11 so much. And maybe the first one to open it, you didn't really like it. You might not still like it, but let it marinate. That's my thing with the Clone Wars. I had to let it marinate. Now I'm like, man, this adds so much weight to Anakin's downfall.
It
But then
does.
again, you think, was it a downfall? Not really.
No, to
This is
me,
it
like
makes sense, bro. Mace
yeah.
Windu's like, no, you stay here. As if Anakin would have went, he would have been, a huge help. It would have been an ally. But then, oh, if you wait here, maybe, the whole theory, if Anakin waited in the chambers and because Palpatine was about to get cooked by Windu, we can all agree on that. But then again, it's like, why would Anakin be granted master just by obeying one order? He would have been a master a long time
but
ago
to
because he
me,
had Ahsoka.
but to
But
me,
yeah, that's how I
Anakin
look
was
at it.
always a master.
Yes,
Anakin was always a master in my book. Like you have a Padawan, you're a master. You know, to me, that rule never made sense to me. You have to be granted master. No, you have a Padawan. You're not going to be not a master. Ahsoka or like me and you, if we're a master to Obi-Wan, a Padawan to Obi-Wan, and then I get a Padawan, you're my Padawan. What are you going to call me?
I mean master.
Yeah,
Like
you're not going to call me Obi-Wan. You're gonna
yeah,
like, you know, we're not there yet. You're not gonna call me that. You're not gonna call me Chris. You're like no, you have to call me Master because I'm training you. You know,
right.
and I feel like that was a really miss. Like I feel like that's a miss in Star Wars that people understand it, but I don't understand. I understand the fall of Anakin. Don't get me wrong. I understand it now that I did back then because it didn't make sense in the movies. Like how does this guy just fall to the dark like that and to be this evil villain? And then we get
Mhm.
Clone Wars, and what Matt Lanter did with that character, like I said, is fantastic. And that's my Anakin. Um, but then we watch the story, and still you don't understand why he fell. and then you understand it more of how the Jedi, how the Council treated him, and how people treated him. And Palpatine was like, "Oh no, son, like you're one of the best." And the Jedi were like, "No, you're the
Okay.
chosen one. You're the chosen one. You're supposed to do this right." And Palpatine was like, "Well, like come sit on my lap and I'll give you presents," like, and that's how it was. But excuse me,
Good.
um, but I was like, that I didn't get it. I still don't get the faults of Anakin. I think it's just manipulation at that point. But how far will you manipulate it? How far does that go? Even with Padme, like, oh, in reality, Padme didn't have to die. Like, you turned to the dark side, that's what killed her. In
Hmm.
reality, that's what killed her. Her heart, her vitals were fine, everything was fine. But Anakin broke her heart. That's what killed her. If Anakin stayed in the light, Padme would have been fine in these Star Wars, Bad Batch, Rebels, probably. If we got those shows, but it didn't happen that way. And
Hmm.
I stand by the fact that if Ahsoka was at the temple, it would be a lot differently in Star Wars. I feel like that. I
Yeah.
think I think she could have brought him back to the light. In that Revenge of the Sith
At
era.
that time,
At
yes,
that
yes,
time, yeah,
I get what you're saying. Because my homie Andy from the Galactic Core podcast, shout out to him. He was telling me, Anakin had felt so bad about everything that he did at the Jedi Temple, and once he saw the younglings in the chambers, when the kid called him master, it triggered him again, thinking like, that's what I should have been. See, they think I'm a master, but they didn't. This is the whole reason why I'm doing this. And then the younglings are gone. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah. Like he
bro,
goes,
the
Master
incy bincy,
Skywalker.
yeah, the incy bincy details. You're like, oh shit, because he walked in, blade not ignited, and he was just looking at the younglings, and as he said, Master Skywalker, there's too many of them. You know, you just see Anakin just get triggered and then look down, and it's like, oh, bro, that adds so much more. So much more. Like,
And in
oh man.
reality, he really didn't kill all the younglings. I feel like.
I mean, I feel like, what we see like in the Riva flashback, like that the only thing I hate from the Kenobi series is that she got stabbed as a kid. I don't like that. I just that's the only thing. People getting stabbed with a lightsaber, that's one thing, like people are like,
But a
"Oh, like
kid,
Qui-Gon." And it's like, but Qui-Gon got it in the middle. His spine's gone. Like he's not,
yeah, and
cut.
when Maul hit him in the face, he lost his breathing.
Yeah, so it's just like,
He probably broke his nose when he got hit like that in the head.
yeah, it's just like, I mean, it happens. Obviously, Dave Filoni wrote it again, in
Yeah,
um Ahsoka, like live action with Sabine. Like it can happen, but I just think it's kind of like the entire temple scene with Anakin. You're just like, the things from the Clone Wars make more sense, and you think more like, okay, this makes sense. But Anakin created, in the Force. Um, there's problems already leaving his mom, him being the only one free. He's not really free because he still has that connection to his mother. She's still a slave. He goes to the Jedi temple, learns the ways of the Jedi. He's 9 years old. He's already mischievous in a way, like we have those characters. Qui-Gon did his thing, like you mentioned earlier. He was off to the side wanting to explore, find new ways in the Force. um being one of the first Force ghosts that we see, hearing voices, and then finally seeing him in the Kenobi series. Um, Quinlan Voss is out doing his own thing. He's doing underworld stuff. He's doing the things the Jedi didn't want to do. Quinlan's out doing that. So like those, to me, like the quote unquote gray Jedi's are out doing their thing. Ahsoka, getting kicked off the council, Barriss Offee, all that, which we'll touch on that here just in a second. But all of those little things adding up to these three Jedi kind of off to the side, that adds more weight to Anakin's character because he has to stay in this, realization of the Jedi that he is a peacekeeper. But then he has a relationship with a senator.
yes.
Relationships are forbidden. And it's all of these little things that just keep Anakin out of the extremity of being a Jedi, quote unquote. He can't have all of these things. He can't have attachment. He can't feel bad for his mom. And then when he goes back to see his mom and he's not supposed to, his mom dies. That adds even more weight to his downfall. Padme seeing visions, all of the things going wrong. That is why Anakin, he was always set up to fall to the dark side.
Yeah,
It was inevitable. And if
yeah,
Palpatine did have there's some theories that Palpatine swayed all of these things to fall in line that way. Palpatine could get Anakin to fall. Maybe that's just how it was. That's just how it was going to be played out. It was destined to happen this way. But at the same time, man, Anakin, it's just, I think in the Clone Wars, it adds so much weight to what we see in, Attack of the Clones, in
yeah.
Revenge of the Sith, in Kenobi series. Like that was how I could understand that Anakin Skywalker is Darth Vader. It was the Kenobi show. People want to hate what Deborah Chow did, but I love what Deborah Chow did because that gave me that realization at 25, 26 years old at the time that I couldn't understand when I'm 13 or 20, but one singular show let me understand that. So I love you, Star Wars.
I love you too, Brandon.
But hey, bro, to end it off, like I said, I texted you and I was like, hey, bro, we got another topic to talk about. You mentioned Tales of the Jedi. What the fuck are we doing with Tales of the Empire?
I'm so fucking excited. I am really so fucking excited. I, like I said, I'm crying. I could cry. Like my tears are coming to my eyes because it's amazing. Because I love animation so much, and I love to see we're getting Thrawn again. That would,
Zach F. Thrawn. He looks just like Zach Efron after his surgery to me. I love it,
but
dude.
but he's the Thrawn that we got in the books. Like
Yes.
that would be if we had a series, which I dream of that series, an animation series of Thrawn through the books. That would what he look like, starting off, of course, and then probably getting better. More Rebels look.
I
But
love the asterisk. It says Admiral Thrawn, not Grand Admiral. I
not
love
Grand
that.
Admiral Thrawn.
Not
Yeah,
yet, but
not
I
yet.
love that.
He's there, but he's not that way. Um, and I love the connection with Morgan Elsbeth because we really want to see what happened with the sisters, you know, and and we're gonna get that with Grievous. She's gonna fight Grievous, which is amazing, and she survived that. And you could see how she actually sold herself to the devil. Like she agreed to the Empire, and that's where Thrawn comes in. And then we see in Ahsoka, in the Mandalorian, excuse me, where's your master? Because we know Thrawn is your master. And the Night Sisters are like that. Okay, Thrawn is connected to the Night Sisters somehow. And we're gonna get that in 3 episodes. Because it's gonna be 3 episodes, Morgan, and then 3 episodes, Barriss Offee, and I'm so excited that they did bring her back. Like we didn't know where she was, but we kind of figured, okay, did she escape? But this is my problem with it. Like one of the clones says, "At least you're not the Jedi now."
See what I think. What I think with that is that's just a cheap way to be like, you'd be dead if you continued to be
Yeah,
a
like
Jedi.
I'm like, but she was a Jedi. That's what I'm saying. She was, but she wasn't. To me, her story wasn't gonna be letting up to be an Inquisitor. You know, I feel like with Barriss, I feel like if they go that route, like yes, you're gonna see her as Inquisitor, of course. She's gonna meet Darth Vader. She's trained by the Grand Inquisitor. Like I'm so excited to
So
see the
tight.
Grand Inquisitor back. Like I'm
Yes,
so excited. I love what Jason Isaac's done with that character, and the voice is just so chilling and everything. Um, but with Barriss, like I really, and does she fight Luminara? You know,
yeah. Does
does
she come back? Yeah,
does she come back, Luminar? And that's the one I think where we see an Inquisitor fighting a Jedi. Is that Luminar Unduli? Is that her? We know she survived, but then she was granted with the Empire and Rebels. We see that, in the
yeah,
episode of Rebels with Keenan. Um, but then we don't see Barriss no more. So where is she in the timeline of Rebels? Does she die because she doesn't want to kill her master? And in reality, she's not a Sith. To me, she's not a Sith Inquisitor. To me, she's a character that wanted more, but she knew the Jedi were blinded. She knew there was something coming, just like Ben Krail. You know, where's his story in that? Maybe we'll get
Hmm.
that soon. Maybe we'll get that in a story of what happened to him. Or maybe in the Barris story, we'll see him wandering around as a Sith and Inquisitor. Um, but yeah, Barris has. I have a lot of questions for that three-part thing because what happens? You know, people are saying like, "Oh, Darth Vader seeing Barris Offee for the first time." To me, that's no. I don't really care for that. You know, Anakin beat her up. You know, Anakin
Hmm.
won that fight in the Clone Wars. You know, why does he want to kill her now? You know, but
Right.
is he going to send her on difficult missions? Probably. You know, like to kill her master because Illuminar and Julie's still out there, probably. Um, but that's going to be an interesting story to see if that was Luminar in the trailer, that Jedi that was fighting the Inquisitor, and to see Barriss see her master again. You know, does she let her master go, or does she not fight her master? And that tells Barriss like, okay, this is like Chloe, go AWOL, and then into another story. You know, in animation told with Barriss. You
Right.
know, I would love to see all that. You know, we didn't see her talk once in that trailer. We didn't see Barazov say anything, you know, but I'm excited to see the Grand Inquisitor Thrawn, Megan Elsbeth again, um, to get her story because we know she dies in Ahsoka. Um, who else
Or
was
does
there?
she? Bomb, bomb,
Bomb
bomb.
Bomb, you know, the Night Sister, you know. They really just threw that at us, Star Wars, the Tales of the Empire. I thought we were going to get a Tales of the Jedi trailer, but they're supposed to drop that soon too, probably May the 4th, and premiere that in the fall time, or we'll get like
Yeah.
a summer ending trailer of that. Um, but yeah, I'm really excited. I was blown away. I think um, when it first dropped, my mouth was just like this.
Yeah, you're just
Like,
like, did I just really watch that? That
but I
wasn't
just
fan. That wasn't fan made, right?
yeah, like I thought like something else because I kept getting notifications on my phone. I'm like, what the hell is everybody talking about? And I'm like, and then the Tales, and I'm like, oh, the Tales of the Jedi trailer came out. Woohoo! I'm excited. And it's Tales of the Empire. And I
Bro.
feel like animation, anything is my favorite. So I'm like a fan of Barris Offee, you know? Yeah, like Morgan Elsbeth, you know? Um, and
That's
it's
how I'm
amazing.
thinking, bro. Cause I've always like, we're on Corvus and we see Morgan Elsbeth for the first time. And in real life, she's Brandon Lee's goddaughter. Like, what? Or Bruce Lee,
Bruce
sorry.
Lee.
I just watched The Crow for the first time a couple weeks ago. So I'm like obsessed with Brandon Lee and like his legacy, for his time. May he rest in peace. But she's part of that. Like,
Yeah.
that's tight, bro. Like, that's so cool. But I've been following her on Instagram since I created my Clan Brandalorian page, and I'm like, she has been posting a lot more since the Ahsoka series, and I'm like, I mean, she's a public figure, she's an actress in Star Wars and other great movies and films and animations, but I'm like, it's like she's about to like come out with something, and
Yeah.
dude, like, unless that was just my intuition, but she's getting her own backstory.
Yeah.
She's voicing, Morgan Elsbeth again,
And
and
there's
I've
so much more to
always
come too. There's
oh,
so much
yeah.
more. Like you could do more of that backstory too. Like she's on Corvus probably in the last scene, and then
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we see that in the Mandalorian too, and it's just animation version. But there's more to come. I feel like with Morgan Elsbeth, you know, she might not be dead. I don't really know. Like, so anything can happen in Star Wars. You
Yeah.
know, anything.
I
But
think
I'm excited.
I'm really excited for it too because I feel like I was telling Lex, the homie Gerald from Star Wars Fanatic, like I was like, she might be a candidate to be like a top 5 character in my book.
Oh
Because there's
wow.
always been something about her where I'm like, she's a dope ass character. And then hearing all the speculations during the Ahsoka show that she's a Night Sister, like she's one of the last remaining Dathomiri that, from the Dathomir Purge that Grievous, led. Like, bro, that's crazy. We see all these Jedi that are surviving Order 66, but like Dathomir got murked, dude. And
It's
Morgan Elsbeth and like the character she was in that one episode in Mandalorian to the Ahsoka series, like she was a big focal point.
Yeah.
Now we get to see how she gets with Thrawn. What starts that? Like you said, she sells herself to the Empire. She needs a bigger power. She has the Night Sister magic. She has all of that. But adding the Empire behind her back on top of what she's capable of, bro, devious.
And I
She is
think
a
really
badass.
with Palpatine really didn't know about Megan Elsbeth. Like I would
Right.
say, like it was Thrawn's idea probably to do that to at the team up with Morgan Elsbeth, and we see that team up in Ahsoka. But I wish that she didn't have to go or die because there's so much story you could tell. But then that connects Thrawn to the Night Sisters because Thrawn gave her a shot,
Yeah.
and no one else would have. Maybe the Jedi, if the Jedi were alive in that time, maybe. Um, but I would like to see that play out very well. Like what time? Like we saw the death of the Night Sisters. Okay, that happened, but what happened after that? Megan Elsbeth, like the Jedi were still around because we see Azaz fighting them in season 4. Was it? I think season 4. It
Yeah.
was the massacre of that.
Oh
Do
yeah,
we?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like we see that now. We're getting it again deeper in depth. We're getting deeper. So do we see Marin from Cal or Fallen Order? Do we see Azaj again in that fighting with it? Um, and then we see her with her the black on her face when she rubs her eyes and then they go green. Like we see that becoming of Megan Elsbeth in the Tales of the Empire. We see that when she fights Grievous, and it's so badass that she goes up against
Dude.
Grievous. And to see Grievous again in animation, it was just, and to me, it was just her really, like her telling the story, and no one else talking really. Thrawn and the Grand Inquisitor were the only ones really talking in that, and the seventh sister that we see in Obi-Wan. Thank God we get her story too, a little, because she did nothing in the Obi-Wan show. She was just there for like show and tell. Like we
Yeah.
just saw her, and to get her in animation and to hear her voice and to see how she was with Barriss or anything else, maybe, and the Grand Inquisitor, and the Grand Inquisitor's face is not like that. Like it's a little shorter.
A little
Um,
conehead.
yeah, like I love it. Like I'm loving it right now. As an animation fan, a huge animation fan, I'm so fucking excited.
W's. Bro, here's my little thing I want to end this on. And I feel like a lot of people aren't talking about this because I haven't seen anything on it. In a minor, minor thing. So Morgan Elsbeth has the Beskar spear. Where did she get that? How does she get that? Now we know that in this era, between episode 2 and 3, we see Morgan Elsbeth with the Beskar spear going all the way down, all the things that it's deflected, blasters, maybe combat that it's been in that we haven't seen yet, to fighting Ahsoka Tano with it, to losing it to Ahsoka Tano, gifting it to Din Djarin, who then turns that Beskar spear that Morgan Elsbeth had during those crazy times that we love during the Clone Wars into chainmail armor for Grogu, who now wears that. So does Grogu now always hold a piece of Morgan Elsbeth to him that no one thinks about?
Yeah, but how did you get that spear? That's another
Does she
question.
team up with Mandalorians? Do they say, "Hey, here's this"? But then you think of the armor saying, "We don't need this as a weapon because this is the only thing that can hurt us is
Yeah.
Beskar and Beskar." So was this a stolen item and then forged into a spear? Who knows?
Who knows? I really hope, like, before we end, I really hope these episodes are like 20 minutes long. I hope we
Yeah.
don't get like 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 9 minutes. Give me Bad Batch episodes. Like, give
Tales of
me
the Jedi had me itching, dude. I'm like, I need it. I need
I
more.
need more. Like you're just giving me 6 episodes and they're 10 minutes each. Like
Yeah.
no, that's an hour. I need like 2 hours worth of this time to understand it because it's so fast how it goes. Like the story goes like this, and you understand it though. Don't get me wrong, you understand that story, but it goes so fast. And I'm like, man, like what the hell? Like what? I want it more and more. Like give me more.
Yeah, bro.
Take my money. You know.
Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah, and before we end, I want Bad Batch merch, Fungo, and Star Wars. Like, where are they at? You know, like, and the Tales of the Empire merch. Like, where's that? We
Man.
let's get it. And that's all I want to end it on before we're here for another hour.
Let me add something to that. Tales of the Jedi. We finally see why Obi-Wan, Yoda, and the younglings could not find Kamino on the star map. We finally see
Yes.
Count Dooku in the Jedi
Yeah.
archives. Why can that not be a pop moment of Dooku, like with his hand up to the Jedi archive, just a little flat wall? Fire. Fire. $50, mine. $50 plus 20 to
The only thing
pre-order
that
plus
they
shipping.
came out with
Take it.
for Tales of the Jedi is the Gentle Giant bus is Yaddle. Only thing, and that looks beautiful. I don't want Yaddle, but I love how they came out with it. Don't get me wrong, but where's more?
Yeah.
You know,
Asajj
where's
Funko. Need it.
yeah, like come on, people. Like she survived. She has a few lives left. You know, hint, hint at that one. And a Quinlan pop. You know, but we'll be there for another hour. I got to come back for another episode of this more
Yes.
merch. But
Yeah. Man, hey, Scavolitano, guys, had him on. We had to talk animation, so I had to hit up my guy here. Go ahead and let them know where they can find you, bro.
you can find me on Instagram, Chris Scavoli _ I am verified on Instagram, so that's the verification. The
Him
Scavoli
and
Tano,
Mark Zuckerberg are really close. He said, "Hey, bro,
yeah,
give
like
me that
me
blue
and
check.
Zuck,
I need it."
yeah, like I pay $15 a month for that. Thank you. um, but you can follow me on my store page too. I have a big drop coming for May the 4th. I do a lot of animation stuff. It's crazy, but I love animation. I want people to enjoy the animation like stuff, merch, because there's not a lot of merch for animation. So there's a lot of live action merch. Don't get me wrong, a lot of live action merch, and I'm like the pirate for like animation. So go check out my store. I got pins on there, t-shirts. I just dropped an Azad's Ventress bundle that you saw her in Bad Batch.
Looks so sick, by the way.
T-shirt. Yes, so amazing. I love Azaj. Um, but yeah, go follow me on there, Scavoli Tano store. It's verified for now, but something with Instagram, I can't really keep my logo as the store, so I would have to name it my name, but I don't want that because it's not about me. It's about Star Wars. Um, you can follow me on TikTok, Chris Scavoli _ Tano, X Scavoli Tano, and then of course the YouTube channel, the Scavoli Tano Show. That will be out soon with an episode from the Scavoli Tonight Show with my friend Clan Brandon or Clan Aurorian, something like that.
Hey, Brando Calrissian,
There you go.
Clan Brandalorian, the Brand Inquisitor, whatever you want to call me, we're here for it. But hey, Chris, thank you for popping on the channel, bro.
Thank you
We
so much for
are
having me.
Gucci.
I loved it.
And to all of those watching, may the force be with you. Clan Brandalorian, I'm out.